Hey everybody, it is Ashley, Published with Ashley, and I am back again live for a show about, what did I say on the things? It was the best KDP low content tips in 2021. So I have 6 of them, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I want to let you know that there's a bundle sale going on for $27. There should be a link in the show notes. And it is an awesome bundle. It includes my Amazon ads course. So if you want that, and then there's a course by Julie, who's my friend, and then there's a bunch of other courses in there, and products, planners. There's some really great stuff. The biggest thing is not to get overwhelmed. Pick and choose and download the things that you really think you're going to use. Otherwise, they're just going to kind of take up space in your hard drive. And I know that well because I have so many things on my hard drive that I just had to have. But I did download it, and I already used the coloring pages. So I was excited to get those because I was finishing up a coloring book that I just finished up this morning, and I'm hoping to get the interior done. I got to make a cover and publish it tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, so other things, my cover creation, I hope that's been helpful for you. I'm going to add some more videos. There's one more coming out today on YouTube. I think it's like 6 p.m. or 3 p.m. I can't remember, Eastern time. And that's going to come out here. And then I'm going to tape and film a few more this evening. So you guys can see cover creation in different mediums. Now, don't, some of them, like the one I did tonight, it's in Book Bolt, but it's, even if you're not using Book Bolt, watch the techniques and the ideas because it can kind of give you ideas for covers. Okay, so back to the topics for today, which is, oh, I have some people live. Okay, I can't see any comments. So if your comments, I haven't seen any yet, but that doesn't mean you haven't been commenting. Okay, so the top six things are, okay, number one, and I saw this in some groups. Some people were asking me questions, and I've seen this in groups, and I've actually seen this on Amazon. The number one thing, this is the don't do this. Morning, Donna, and hi, Peter, and Micah, and Journey with Cece. That's such a cool, I like that, Journey with Cece. All right, so number one, the number one thing is stop putting the same thing on the cover and then changing one word or a phrase or the color. Please, please don't do that. I know, hopefully if you found me, you know that I do not promote anything like that. I'm all about finding out what the customer wants, the customer needs, and then making something unique and solving their problem, right? It's about solving their problem. Just if you're out there doing this and you're just changing one word or changing the cover just a little bit, then you're totally missing the point. And whoever you've been listening to on YouTube is leading you to waste your time because it's just not going to work well for the amount of time you're going to put into that. You're just not going to see the results. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to quit. And rightly so, because you're not creating value for the customer. Something I was telling someone today on my Facebook group is that if you just change a word or change a little thing, why is that different for the customer? Why would the customer want to buy it? What value are you giving the customer? Why would they want to part with their money for that item? If it's not, different, if it's like the same thing over and over again, people don't want to part with their money for things that aren't interesting or unique or different. And now you don't want to go too far on the different side. Now you could, and maybe it will be profitable, but there's kind of a happy medium, right? There's the super far end different, which is fine. If you can connect with that audience, that's great. But that's again about thinking about that audience, right? You have to connect with them. But generally you're somewhere in the middle. Okay, so stop putting the same stuff on the cover over and over again. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have an interior, you can't reuse the interior. But reusing the interior, like if it's a logbook, the interior is kind of similar, but you could focus your cover on somebody else. Like let's say you make a car maintenance logbook. So you make a car maintenance logbook that's maybe, gray or blue, kind of a manly color, and it just has like a picture of a pretty sports car, right? Okay, that's great. Or maybe a monster truck or something like that. That's fine. And then make one maybe for the female side, put, I don't know, a pink monster truck. I love pink camo. I mean, it's so, I don't know, cheesy, but I like it anyway, right? So you can definitely do that, but think of your audience. Yes, the logbook interior would be the same, but the cover might speak to a totally different audience. That doesn't mean change one word. That means change the whole cover. Look at my cover playlist on YouTube. I'm really big on making it unique and different and patterns and textures and things like that, because that's what stands out to your customers. Okay, let's see. Have you had any problems getting, so Mike asked, have you had any problems getting Amazon to answer your questions in detail? I asked them if I can use the name Manifest Marie, but they kept copying and pasting a script. Yes. Now remember, you're going to get whoever's on the other line, and if they don't understand your question particularly, they're just going to copy and paste. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that would actually manifest. Maybe not. I would try and stay away from words like that. Marie would be fine. But try and just, there's no point in putting a keyword in your title because it can trigger Amazon's, not just the human-like thing, but it definitely triggers Amazon's algorithms that go in the bots, right? So the bots might see the word manifest and say, that's not somebody's name. We can't have that, right? So you don't want to trigger the bots. So asking a human if that's an okay name, it might not be very useful because they just don't know. They don't know what the bots, are programmed to do, because that's not their job. Their job is to answer stuff. So yes, if I had problems asking specific questions, yeah. If it's something you really want to know, you can keep asking, and eventually your question might get to the correct person. Sometimes it's good to stop and then try again in a few days, and it'll pick up with somebody, your question might pick up with somebody who actually knows the answer. That's kind of true of anything, though, I think, in life. You kind of got to find the right person to answer the question. But yeah, sometimes it is hard to get that. Okay, number two, tip number two, treat this like a business. And I know you guys have heard me say this, but put some value on your time. Now, in the beginning, you're an unpaid apprentice. I understand that. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing wrong or right. But you're an unpaid apprentice, and that's okay. But at a certain point in time, you have to go from that unpaid apprentice to being, paid. And so that requires building up your skills, right? An apprentice starts out, with the grunt work, and that's what you're doing now, but build up your skills. I am a huge believer in understanding how to create your covers. What does the spine mean? What does the bleed edges mean? And I've seen this so many times. I was lamenting to my husband that I see so many comments in Facebook groups about people like, oh, Amazon rejected my cover again. There's some error and I don't understand what's DPI, what's all this. I understand that in the beginning, there's a lot of things to learn, but learn what the lingo is, learn the terminology, be that apprentice gaining all that access, and learn how it works. If you just try and throw things up there without learning things like learning what DPI is, learning how to calculate your page counts, all those things, if you don't learn that, then in the end, when you try and upload, you're just going to get rejected over and over and over again, and you're going to get really frustrated. So I did that at the beginning. I just tried to push through it and not learn it. And I was so frustrated. Once I sat down and literally spent, an hour learning what all these things were, looking them up at the time, I had to look it all up on Google. There weren't tools. I created my own little calculator, all this stuff. I had to do it myself. But once I did it, it was so much easier. It was so much easier. Now I know exactly when I get errors, what's wrong. I know what I'm doing. And I realized in the beginning that's hard. So treat it like a business. In the beginning, you're an unpaid apprentice, but you've got to learn the lingo, learn the pieces. And as you get better, you can create and learn more techniques that make your stuff differentiate and make your stuff stand out to the customer. And thus you're going to transition to that paid person versus the unpaid apprentice. But treat it like a business. Don't just put junk out there and hope it sticks to the wall. Like, see, number one, don't just put the same thing up over and over again, because it's not going to work for you. There was a time maybe it sort of worked a long time ago, but that is not true anymore. All right, number three, get better at cover design and interiors. And you can see how these all kind of build on yourselves. Get better at creating your covers. Get better at creating your interiors. Add more to them, because as more and more people get into the business, they're going to try and do the min effort to make money, which is ridiculous because that doesn't work for very long. That is not a business. That's not sustainable. Okay. So get better at cover design with each cover, with each interior, just get a little better. And I'm not talking go out and learn everything known to mankind and then do your first book. No, you learn by doing. So make something. And then for your next book, try and, push yourself just a little bit outside your comfort zone, learn something new, try something new, but you don't have to try something hugely new, baby steps, small steps, next, and next. And eventually, before you even know it, honestly, you'll get so much better. Okay. Let's see, Micah, would you advise a newbie to do something a little more creative with a notebook, like adding prompts or images? Yes. So I have a notebook, and it is a notebook that does really, really well. And why I have I think 600 and something comments, why most people liked it was because, yes, all it is a simple line notebook, but in every corner, I put a little doodle that is with the niche, right? So it's, if you were doing, I wouldn't do a flowered notebook, but giraffe notebook. Let's say giraffe notebook. I don't know if that's good. Don't take this and do a giraffe notebook. But you had a giraffe, and a pattern and something on the cover, and you're focused on giraffe lovers. Then inside, putting like a little cartoon giraffe on like one corner of the pages, they might really like that. So for my notebook, I've done that. And a lot of people in my comments have said, I really like this notebook because it's not just notebook. It has cute little doodles on every single page. So that's something I did. And it wasn't hard. I just picked a little doodle, and I think I repeated it. Like I did 20 different doodles. And so they got repeated throughout the book 5 times, right? Because there was 100 pages. So I did, 1, 2, and all the way to 20. And then the next, like page 21 through 40 would have the same doodles on the corners again. Does that kind of make sense? I've seen people on YouTube saying don't use a free Canva templates or images to make money. You can use anything, just differentiate it, right? If you're going to use a free template, that's fine. Just add something different to it. You've just got to make it different. That's the key. All right, let's see. Number 4, right? I'm on 4. Okay, focus on your target market. Focus on your target market. So we were just talking about your giraffe lover, right? And the giraffe cover, and then the little giraffe doodles, right? On the corners. That's thinking about your target market. That's not just trying to throw up as many notebooks at once. It's trying to make it specific and intent upon your target market. If they want lots of doodles, that's great. Then you should give that to them. But first thing you want to do is define who they are, what, like their age, where they shop, where they buy, where they hang out, what is their social media, where do they like to hang out for social media. Research them. Now, this will help in a lot of ways. One, you'll understand how to market to that target market, and keywords will come of that, right? If you understand the lingo and your market, and who you're trying to advertise to, who you're trying to get to buy your product, you will understand the keywords that maybe the person who didn't do the research is never going to use, but that means you're going to have the keywords that really focus in on that person and get them to see it and then buy it. So I know it's more work and nobody likes more work, but guess what? Remember, number 2, treat this like a business. Businesses don't open their door and say, okay, I'm going to make bread today. That's not how it works, right? They need a store. They need an oven. They need ingredients. They need all these things before they can even bake bread. And then they have to get like licenses from the government and whatever they need, right? You can't just throw open your doors and hope that your business is going to make money. I know some YouTubers just say you can do that. I am not one of those. I treat this like a business. And I've noticed the more I treat it like a business, the more I research my market, the more I understand them and what they want, the more my profits I've increased my profits because I know how to talk to them. I know what they want. Okay. Brand building and marketing. Okay. So number 5 is brand building and marketing. I highly suggest that if you're going to stand out in this market, you want to build your brand up. And this is something that comes this time as you get it's like one of those steps, right? You have baby step, get better, get better, get better. And then things start selling. You kind of find your niche in the world. That's when you start building your brand. And this might take some time. It took me a really long time to get here. So, but you know, it takes time. So you get there and you build your brand, and you've got to focus on marketing. So find what's selling. So once you start getting some stuff selling, find what's selling and dig deeper. You want to create companion products and put those at the end of your book. What I mean by that is, okay, do you have a fiction author that you're really into, or even a nonfiction author, right? A lot of times they'll have a series, right? And you can't wait to get the next book. So that's what you're trying to do. It's the same idea. If you don't understand this concept, look at any, like Harry Potter, the big ones. I mean, even if you're from foreign countries, I'm positive you've heard of Harry Potter, right? There's, I don't know, 7 books. And then once she was done with the 7 books, she had like the prequel ones with the, I don't remember what they're called. I just saw an advertisement. You know, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Or if not, it doesn't really matter. But she created those 7 series of books. So that's what you're trying to do. And I'm not saying you're trying to create a series, but try and think of things that target market might also want. So if you're doing a 365-day planner, maybe they want a 90-day challenge to, like if you're doing cleaning, I think I've said this one before, but if you're doing like a cleaning planner, maybe they would like a 90-day challenge cleaning planner, right? So think of something that they could want to do that's maybe that one's undated, so that you start getting people to move towards an evergreen product. And that way you can lead, when you have your like best-selling planner, you can get your best-selling planner to go towards buying that 90-day, you know, challenge type item. And then that way you don't lose them. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I've got one more, and then I'll do some more questions. Number 6, don't give up. This is what I think people do for 2 reasons. One, they don't see it working fast enough, and so they give up. And that's okay. The second, but I think anyone can succeed in this business if they're willing to do the work to get better, to understand your target market, to try and slowly do those baby steps rather than flooding the market with a bunch of junk. And this is the second reason people quit. They flood the market with a bunch of junk. They do so much busy work, right? Just work that isn't actually useful work. It isn't productive work. It doesn't give them anything back. And then they quit, which rightly so, because if you're going to flood the market with junk, if you wouldn't buy it, and I'm not saying there's some stuff of mine, I have covers that I hate, but I know people like, because they like, I researched my target market and they like the overlaying flower patterns and all that. And I hate that, but that doesn't mean that someone else doesn't. I wouldn't buy it, but I know there's people who would buy it because I did my research. So it's not necessarily something if you would buy it, but if you don't know anyone who would buy it, you're probably still doing it wrong. Okay, so don't give up. Keep learning, keep growing, keep making baby steps, and each day, each product, you will get better. That should be your goal, to make the next product better. And if you keep doing that and you keep focusing on, okay, I'm going to make the next product better. I'm going to make not only this product better, but I'm going to try and get someone who previously bought a product to buy this next product. Right? If you're thinking about your market and who you're going to and who you're trying to sell it to, and you start thinking about them instead of yourself, I promise you will do better in this business, because you're serving your customer, and that's what a business is. It's about them paying you because you did something of service to them. So think about your customer and stop thinking about yourself. And if you put your focus on the right thing, you're going to succeed. Okay, so that was my rant, I guess, for the 6, however many fingers I'm holding up. Okay, let me go back up. Sorry, I've got to scroll up to all my comments. I got a ton of comments. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay, so Peter asked about the free Canva images, but not the pro ones. Canva just came out with a new ruling, so our new licensing. So read the licensing on the pro, because I think you can't, well, I know you can use some of them. So if you're doing Canva and Canva Pro, then you should look and make sure, read it. Okay. I am not a lawyer. I am not going to get into trouble for you not reading the fine print, but read it. And you can always email Canva and ask if you are unsure. They will be happy to email you back. It might take a while, but they will. The free images on Canva, though, yes, they're good for commercial use. Anything you see that's free, you're totally fine on those. So go for it. Use all those. But yet again, just, you know, if you're going to use those, that's great. Just always try and think of your target market. Think of the people who want to buy this and make it for them, right? And then, you know, you're going to create a unique, worthwhile product for them. Okay. Question about covers. What is my cover setting? Okay. Oh, drat. Let's see. Oh, wait, it moved. Sorry. What are your cover setting? RGB or what is print in? Does anyone remember? So this is terrible. I know the answer to this, but I'm forgetting. Doesn't it print in RGB and not, or does it print in MKY? Okay, so I don't generally do anything enough as far as exact color matches that it would make a difference if my colors are slightly off. So either one is going to work. Now, here's the thing why I don't worry about that. I know if you're a graphic designer, you might be horrified by that. But here's the thing that I absolutely know 100%. Not all printers print the same color that should be the same color. So if you order your own book and you order it like at different times and a different printer sends it to you, it may look slightly different, even though supposedly they are printing in the same thing, but their printer might be low on ink. Their printer may not be as good as the other printer. So if the exact colorness is so important to you, that you're going to be annoyed. You're going to be frustrated with this whole experience. I try and make sure that my monitors are good so that the colors work out. But honestly, I don't stress about that too much because I know that the printers on the back end don't print exactly probably how you would want it anyway. So if you're a graphic designer, I know that might horrify you. But really the only thing that's color in most of mine is the cover. And all my covers have looked great. Are they exactly what it looks like on my monitor? No. Was it close? Yes. So, yeah. I wouldn't stress about that one because there's nothing you can do about the printers that you do not own. Okay, 2 months early. So Mike asked, how much should you do before a holiday? So Valentine's Day, you should have been publishing Valentine's Day in the very end of December, very beginning of January. You can do it up to even 3 weeks might work. But the thing is, it takes the algorithm time to index your book for your keywords. So, and that does not happen instantaneously. And if a lot of people are dumping stuff in with the same keywords, it just takes Amazon a while to index stuff. So to be on the safe side, 2 months. A month is like pushing it. But I would say 2 months. Sometimes I put stuff up 3 months before. My planners, I try and get up 3 months before the end of the year. So I try by like 1 October through 10 October is when I try and get my planners for the next year. So 2021, I had them, almost all of them finished by, I think, October 10th-ish. I had a few that I know that came out by the end of October, but I was trying to get them done. All right. So, yep, Peter said 2 months so that they can index your words. Hello, Facebook user. I don't know unless you let me know who it is. On StreamYard, it just lets me see Facebook user. So let's see. Micah says, do you want to make your books available on acquire international markets where English would be a second or third language? I published everything unless I have some Bible quote stuff that I do not publish in the UK because the King James Version is not considered public domain in the UK. So I've always just tried to be good about that. But I publish in everything. I have some Spanish planners. They're actually in Spanish. And they strangely enough, so I publish them to everywhere, and they sell in the US a little bit. They sell in Spain a little bit, but for some reason they've sold in Italy a lot. I guess there's a lot of Spanish speakers in Italy. So you never know. Do publish to all. If you speak a particular language like Japanese and things, I would definitely, publish to the Japanese market. Because if you speak a different language, sometimes you can definitely dominate that language because, Now, advertising. So someone asked me a question about advertising. I do advertise on, let's see, Canada, the UK, and the US. My best is always the US, but I've had great success on the UK as well. And I targeted this book specifically at the UK market, and I made sure some of my keywords were UK spellings, were UK not acronyms, shortened words. What are they called? Slang. There we are. Slang. UK slang. And then I advertised to that market, and they've done really, really well. It's quieter on the other markets. The US advertising market is going to be your busiest, but you can find little holes in the UK or Japanese or the other markets, Canadian markets or something, that if it starts to sell well, you can advertise in there, and that's useful. Do I put my page? Do you put a page number in your journal? Oh, yes. So Cece asked, do you put a page in your journal that tells them about your other planners? Yes. I used to set things up as a series on Amazon, but I haven't done that in a while. If you're going to use the series function on Amazon, just think about the whole series. So before you do it, think about what, 1 through 5 will be, so that you can market it and make it make sense. But yes, you can use the series, but I would say think about it before you do it. So know kind of what you want to do. Maybe it's a 5-part series, or how about a 4? Okay, let's do 4. You break the year into 4 parts. So I think that book's called 120 week, 4-week year, or what is it called? I don't remember. There's a book, and I have it 120 year something. I wrote it down, and it's very popular right now, and it breaks the year into 4 parts. And so you could, break the year into 4 parts and have 4 planners that they could start, with throughout the 4 parts of the year. So you could do something like that, and make that a series. That would be a really cool series. And maybe the first month they focus on cleaning their house, and the second part they focus on decluttering their desk. I have no idea. Whatever. Think about your market. Think about what problems they have, and then solve those. But yes, I definitely put a page telling them to go check out my other products, and I tell them what they are, and you could put, the link on there. Now I know the link isn't particularly clickable on a paperback, but if they have the link and they have like a little picture, you put like a little picture of that book, then they know that they have the right book, right? And if you're going to do that, you want to keep the same author name so that you don't confuse them. So keep the same author name or brand name for those books you're pushing them to. And I have lots and lots of brand names. So before you ask, and yes, it sometimes gets a little confusing. Can I still make planners? If you're going to make planners now, undated planners, or like I said, there's that book that breaks the year up to, and you can look it up. I think it's 120-day year or something like that. And it breaks the year up into 4 pieces. So you could look at, another part of the month. So you'd want to work towards the latter half. So, the other planners you can do are academic planners. So academic planners usually start in June or July. So look at what academic planners are out there. Look for holes. Maybe there's a hole for a hole meaning an opportunity. Like there's none of them out there. So I know space has been really big, space and outer space and tech and things like that. Geeky engineering. So maybe there's no student planners out there focused on space or engineering. So maybe try and create something like that. So that's a definite opportunity that you can start. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's Pamela with the question. How many series or brands do you manage? So I am focused on 2 brands right now. I have a ton of pen names, but a lot of those were oh, I don't want to say focused. It's more like I put things in the same series. And if things start to do well, I'll add more books. But right now I'm focusing on 2 brands. One is doing really, really well. So I'm going to actually talk about that. I had some more comments on that. So I've focused on 2 brands. And then the second one I've got to start making books for because it's a summer type activity stuff. And so I want to start making stuff to get it out there for the summer, right? 2-3 months ahead of the time. I want to aim for having stuff out and ready for spring break, which kind of kicks off the outdoorsy, summery type events. So I'm going to start working on those. I've got to finish the coloring book I'm doing and then outline an idea I have, and then I'm going to start working on those. Let's see. But 2. If you're better than me at focusing on lots of brands, go for it. But right now I'm going with 2. I have a lot of just random stuff, but 2 is my focus and those are doing the best. Oh, and Lori says it for print, it's CMYK. There you are. I knew it was something and I forgot, which I know might horrify you all. But like I said, in the end, the printers, they print, they are not consistent in their printing quality. So yeah. Just got in. Greetings from Belgium. Have I been to Belgium? I don't think I've been to Belgium. Maybe I did. I don't know. I used to live in England for a while, so I went to a lot of places. I think I was in Belgium. Do you start ads immediately after you publish, or you wait for something to rank? Both. So if I have a crazy off-the-wall idea that I think will sell, I will sometimes put some ad spend behind it. I have one I just published that I do plan on putting ad spend behind because I'm focused at a specific part of the market. And if I just leave the organic search to find, like the person I want to find it won't find it. What's a good way to put this? Okay, so sometimes your title trend. Okay, this is a good way. This is a good way to explain this. So you're like, let's say there's a trend that's going, like I said, that book, it's called 100, I think it's called 120 week year, or 120 day year. I think that's what it's called. Whatever it is, but say there's a trend for that. You cannot put those trend words in the back of your keywords because they're trademark or branded or something like that. But you can use trademark branded words in your advertising. So this specific book I've created is to follow a trend that has certain trend keywords, but those words are trademarked. So I cannot use those words anywhere in my keyword, but I know that target audience, because I did my research, would like the particular book that I've created. So I am going to do ads to advertise to that market. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes, I will do them on new books, but I have to have a reason for doing it on a new book. And it's usually because I have some sort of idea or market I'm trying to aim at. Sometimes I just have a crazy idea and I throw a book out there to see how it will do because this is fun for me. And so I like to try new things. So it's not all about business all the time. If I just have a crazy idea I want to try and I want to create it because it makes me happy, I will go and put it out there. Do I expect that happy thing to make me lots of money? Probably not, especially if it was a totally off the wall idea, but you never know. But it made me happy to create it. But that's kind of I divvy out my time between business and fun creative idea. Okay. Hi, Myrna. How are you? 12-week year. See, Donna, I knew she knew it. I was hoping she'd comment. 120 day, whatever. It's 12-week year. All right. Pamela is wondering if you should use your own name for a brand. Sure. It opens the door for speaking engagements. Yes. If you have a purpose for using your brand, your name, then definitely use your name. Definitely look up and see if there's another famous Pamela Hathaway, because if there's a famous Pamela Hathaway, then you're kind of out of luck using your name. Like you would want to put like your middle initial. So Pamela, I don't know what your middle initial is, but P Hathaway, right? So if there's somebody famous with your name, you've got to, or another person on Amazon, just type in your name on Amazon and see if anybody comes up. Then you're going to want to differentiate yourself somehow by using a middle initial or your middle name, just to make sure that Amazon doesn't say, hey, you're trying to hijack this famous person's name. They may not even be that famous. Google it and see if like some famous actress in Spain comes up or something weird. Because I had someone, the pen name they used or their name was a famous director in a foreign country, but they would have no idea because, but Google it and just check. And then you can always use a middle initial to make it still you, but differentiable. Do you unpublish book with terrible reviews? No, I don't even worry about my reviews. I gave up. I've said this, and I think in my last one, I have a tender heart, and so I stopped reading reviews. Occasionally, if I'm brave, I will read a bad review to see if it has anything useful in it. I had one that said they expected more pictures throughout the book. And so this year when I created a new version of it, because it was kind of a yearly calendar thing, I added more pictures. Okay, so that was a valid comment. But I try not to read my reviews because generally people are just mean. Sometimes it's stuff you can't help. Like it's, the pages got printed wrong, which you have no control over, and Amazon won't remove that review. Sorry, just it is what it is. But yes, okay, so let's say you get 20 one-star reviews. Yeah, I might unpublish that book because obviously it was not your best book. But if it's a 1-star review and you get a few other star, like 4-star, 5-star, even a 3 stars, don't be bagging on people or don't be upset when people give you a 3-star. 3-star is like the undecided person. Okay. They say, okay, 3 is good. I don't know if it was amazing. It wasn't terrible. So they just say 3. So 3 stars and above is fine. Don't be worried about a 3-star review because a lot of people are wishy-washy. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. And so they give you a 3 and that's not bad. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Anything else? Oh, I have 20 people. I'm so happy. I think that's the most I've ever had. Thank you all for coming. Okay, so that was it. I talked for 37 minutes. Any other questions? I don't think I've missed any. Okay, so the one thing I did want to tell you guys is, okay, so I have, this is what I'm doing right now, and I want to tell you my experiment, I guess. So I have a prompt journey type journal that has done really well, and it's a calendar year based thing. So my sales are starting to drop off now in February. So they had great sales in December, really actually much better than I thought in January, but now the sales are starting to drop off. I mean, I'm selling a few a day, but still I know the sales are going to drop off. So I was thinking about this problem. It's one of my brands I watch. So I was thinking, okay, how can I entice my customer to come back to me, to my brand, and purchase something else that's kind of an evergreen type item, right? They might come back to me next year, but I don't want them to forget about me in the meantime, right? So I was thinking I would do an undated 365-day journey journal. And the reason the idea I have lends itself to undated because it's more of a, you do this, you do this, you do this, and someone could pick it up or drop it. It's more of a based on actions they take than particularly to have to do it on January 1st or 5th or whatever. So it's more of like a journey, 365 journey journal. And if they drop it, that's fine. But so the idea is to create something that people could buy all year round from my brand so that they don't forget about me and they want to buy my updated version for next year when that comes out in November, December timeframe of this year. So I was talking with my husband and I thought it was a great idea. My husband thinks it's going to be a flop. So it's either going to be a great idea or a flop. But I was thinking about this. He said, I don't think your market is big enough to sustain something like this. And I said, okay, well, I can get where you're coming from, but I have to create something that I want them to buy from me, from my brand, that they are going to use and that they'll keep them coming back to me for products. I can't just do the yearly product thing because that's not what a real brand does. So I've decided the thing that's going to make this not a flop is all about marketing. So I'm going to create this book and it's going to take me about 4 weeks to create because it's kind of it's going to be mentally taxing for me. I have to do a lot of thought and introspection. So it's going to take me a while. And I've decided to space it out over 4 weeks. It's not going to be 4 weeks, 8 hours a day. It's more like over 4 weeks, I'm going to work on it for, 5 hours a week, 7 hours a week. I just want to space it out so I can really do justice to this product. I can really think about it and create something really great. And I know that I will get bored with the project if I try and do it in like a 2-week span. I'll just quit in the middle. So I know myself, I'm going to spread it out. And then what I have to think, that second part is that marketing piece. So I know to make this great rather than a flop, I really have to figure out how I'm going to market and who I'm going to market it to and how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to have to spend more time on that marketing piece to get it going. And it will require some ads, I suppose, but maybe it'll require some Pinterest. Maybe it'll require doing something creative on Facebook. And I'm not sure yet. I don't know what that looks like, but I know to make it successful, I know I'm going to have to do that. So I wanted to let you know that, yes, I'm doing something experiment that my husband thinks will be a flop, but I know to make it a success, I have to think about it more than just creating it and then hoping somebody will come. So I want you to kind of think of that too. All right. So, are you able to do a video on promoting and marketing for free? Yeah, I can do a video about that. That's a good idea. Marketing for free. There's lots of great ways to do it, but it takes time, right? So, but yeah, I'll do one on marketing for free. I have some on my Pinterest. So I have some videos on my YouTube channel about Pinterest, and Pinterest is free. A business Pinterest account is free. So check those out. I was planning on adding some more, but I think Pinterest is a great method as well. But I'll do one about that. You won't be a flop. You're a rockstar. Thanks. I don't know about that, but we're going to try. I do think the key to that one is marketing. And like I said, marketing doesn't have to cost money. It can be free, but it's going to take time, right? That's the trade-off. If it's free, there's usually time involved in it. All right. So I hope this was helpful today, and I will see you all next week. I have a video coming out on making covers today. I think it's like 3 p.m. Eastern. It might be 6. I can't remember what I set it for. And then I'm going to create 2 or 3 more how to create cover designs this evening, and I will space them out on my YouTube channel for the next few days so that they're not just all dropping at once. All right. Can you do a video setting up Pinterest for book marketing? Yes. So yes, I will. I will add that because that's marketing and Pinterest. So I do have some videos on that, but yeah, I will do specific to kind of help you all. All right. I will see you all next week, and check out the rest of my videos on YouTube. Like, subscribe, help me get to 1,000 followers so that my kids think I'm cool. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.